everyone and welcome back to my channel. So you're probably wondering why Kat Von D is sitting next to me today, and that is because we're going to be talking about her makeup range, which I'm so excited about. So I'm going to be asking her a few questions. Now I've watched Kat for years on LA Ink, but we're going to put the tattoos aside and we're talking about makeup, which is one of my passions. So what inspired you to create Kat Von D Beauty?
Oh man, well I mean I think I've been like a makeup junkie for so long really, you know, I've always been a fan of any form of self-expression, whether it's music or, you know, tattoos or makeup. But I think like most girls, you know, you start messing around with makeup when you sneak into your mom's drawers and stuff like that. But I think for me it's always been just the heavy influence of like music and that, I guess, aesthetic. But yeah, I still kind of do my makeup based more on like how I'm feeling or, you know, inspired by, I guess, emotions versus like trends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And how important was it for you that your whole range is cruelty-free and vegan?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, I think being cruelty-free is like a no-brainer, you know? I think there are, I mean, a lot of people don't know, but for example, China, if you sell in China, China has mandatory laws that make any makeup brand test on animals. So if you notice, there's brands like, you know, Too Faced that, and our brand, of course, that refuses to sell in China because, you know, we don't want to support that, of course.
I think that's a really nice attribute of your brand, and I think it's something that people will buy into as well, so I think it's really nice.
Yeah, thanks.
So what is your favourite product from your whole range and why?
People ask me that all the time.
It's
and
a hard one.
Yeah, it is, because in all honesty, I wear all of my makeup every day. But I think red lipstick has always been kind of a signature thing for me. So if I had to choose between everything, I would choose a red lipstick in either formula, Everlasting or Studded Kiss.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
And have you got a really cool beauty tip or trick that you can share with me today?
I don't know. I don't know.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I've filmed a bunch of tutorials and stuff on how I do certain makeup looks, but it's kind of weird. I think I'm like really bad at giving advice because I feel like everybody kind of does their own thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm probably the worst person to ask.
Okay. How excited are you that you're launching in the UK?
I'm like extremely super excited. It's been such a long time coming, you know. I've like wanted to launch out here since we first launched in the US, you know, but it was like so crucial and important for us to find like the right partner.
Yeah.
And so yeah, once we met up with the team over at Debenhams, it just made so much sense. And so we've been working pretty hard at making it be like the most amazing launch. So yeah, it's exciting. And in Ireland too, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So will it be available in every Debenhams or?
Yeah, and I think we're starting off launching in specific stores, but then the click and collect situation that you guys have, which I think is so genius.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah,
Handy.
we'll go across the board. So yeah.
So cool. And will it be your whole line, or will it be exclusive?
You guys
pieces?
are gonna get everything, which is so great.
Good.
Yeah, so there's no more
Exciting.
like paying stupid shipping charges, you know?
Yeah, so annoying that is. You get taxed and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And I think that's it for all my questions.
Awesome.
So thank you so much
no, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks.
And you look so awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you all for watching this video, and I hope to see you all soon.
Cool.
Bye. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here with Erik Soto, Kat Von D's makeup artist, and he's going to do my makeup today using Kat Von D's beauty range, which is coming out in the UK in September. So let's get to it.
Let's go.
So first we're going to use the Lock-It Hydrating Primer. One of the things I love about this primer is that it just basically gives the skin a drink of water. It's oil-free, it's paraben-free, it's fragrance-free. It's perfect if you have sensitive skin or you have any sort of like redness or irritation. It's perfect. And I love to apply it with my fingers. I think the warmth of your fingers really pushes the product into the skin. And then because our foundation is super long wear and full coverage and high pigment, it just gives it even more flexibility. So because we have the Lock-It Hydrating Primer, this is our Lock-It foundation. And what I like to do is, depending on your desired coverage, I like to actually mix them together. So I'm gonna do 1 pump of the foundation, and I'm gonna do just half a pump of the primer. Then I'm actually going to mix them together with the back of my Lock-It foundation brush. So because my skin is a little bit more oily, I don't mix it with the primer. But if you have skin that's a little bit drier, or if you live in an area where you need more hydration, you can definitely mix it in. All right, so we're gonna use our Lock-It foundation brush. I'm gonna use just a little bit on the tips of the bristles. The bristles are white so that you can see how much product you're using. And I like to start in the center of the face and then work outward. What's cool about the brush is that you want to really push the product into the skin. And as you can see here, we're using a tone of foundation that's just a little bit warmer because when you look at the décolleté at this area, we really want to see that balance go all the way up. Another thing I love about this brush is that it feels like 1,000 little fingers that's actually pushing the foundation into your skin. How does it feel?
Yeah, really good.
Good. I think a lot of times, we don't want to push the foundation into our skin because, we're thinking it's foundation, it's not good for us, but it's fantastic because it too is oil-free, fragrance-free, paraben-free, and, the more you push the product into your skin, the less texture you're going to have. Always remember to bring the foundation down onto the neck. Nobody wants a floating head. So next we're going to use the Lock-It Concealer Creme. This is our new concealer, which is pretty awesome because it's hydrating. And a lot of concealers that are long wear are not necessarily hydrating. I'm just going to use just a couple dots here. I'm going to use the Lock-It Edge Concealer Brush, which is just a smaller version of the foundation brush. But what's perfect is that it fits into the shape of the under eye. And I'm pushing the product into the skin. A lot of times we get creasing under the eye when we're using concealer because we don't actually push the product into the tiny, tiny little lines that we all have because, we have to blink, so. But you will get 24-hour wear from this concealer. I like to put a little bit right here in what I call the back cave, right in here in the center, inner corner of the eye. So next we're going to use the Lock-It Color Correcting Eyeshadow Primer. And what's cool about this is that it's 24-hour wear. But it corrects any sort of discoloration or anything that might be on the eyelid or any sort of veins or anything like that. Simply just take it and glide it across the eye. And you can see instantly any sort of redness is gone. Then just take your ring finger and gently press the product into the skin. The warmth of your finger is really going to give you a seamless application. If you use a brush, you might get a little bit of texture, so I always recommend using your finger because this is an oil-free product. It's definitely a step I don't like to skip because if you're going to go through the effort of putting on eyeshadow, you definitely want it to stay on. Because of the performance of our products, touch-ups should be optional. Now, to set our foundation, we're going to use our new Lock-It Loose Powder with our new brush, which is specifically made for loose powder. And if you love loose powder, what's really great about ours is that it's actually 30% lighter than the leading loose powder. And so you use a lot less, but it's also, it has a micro blurring technology. And what that means is that it creates a diffusing effect. And it doesn't leave the skin overly matte. It gives you it doesn't leave your skin overly matte. It gives you like a soft matte finish. Then we also created a baking brush for powder. And so you can pick up a little bit of your loose powder. I like to call it a light bake. And you just gently push the powder under the eye. And because how refined this powder is, you can actually come all the way out here onto the outer eye area. Okay, now we're gonna use the Shade and Light Face Contour Palette. It's pretty awesome because it is powder based, but what that does is it makes it really easy to use. And you get 3 different tones, and don't worry if you're fair complected, you will still use all 3 tones. It just depends on where you're going. And so we're gonna start here because you've got a cool tone, a warm tone, and then a deep tone. The warm tone is really great as also as a bronzer, if you'd like as well. So I'm gonna use the Shade and Light contour brush. I'm gonna use the angled side, gently tap a little bit of the powder. I'm gonna start from the back of the ear and then work forward in upward motions. That way we keep the shape nice and lifted. What's great about this formula is that it's triple jet milled, so you're gonna get a smooth blend every single time. So it's not overly pigmented, which can sometimes lead you into some problems with blending. And I also like to focus on this part of the ear, and then whatever is left over, brush it back onto the ear, because when you're doing contour, you don't want to have a white ear sticking out. So I'm actually going to apply just a tiny bit here to the jawline. And we can actually use the clean side of this brush and just softly blend our edges. Then we're actually going to we have 3 different highlighters here. So you've got a pink, a yellow, and a peach. You can also use these under your eyes if you want to kind of color correct. But we're going to use the lightest pink here just for brightening. So now we're going to move into the Shade and Light Eye Contour Palette, and it is a completely matte eyeshadow palette. And what you're going to see here is that you have your neutral tones, your cool tones, and your warm tones. And because they're all matte, it's a great way for you to start any sort of like eye makeup application. So I think what we're going to do, we're just going to shape the eye, because then we're going to go into some fun colors. So, all right. So I'm going to use a little bit of the peach here on this side. It's more in the warm tones. And I'm using the Shade and Light Eye Contour brush, and I'm just gently applying it here in the crease. And then I like to use what's called directional blending. This is what I call priming the eye. I do this before using any sort of brighter shades. Then we're going to use a little bit of this shade right here. I'm going to flip my brush around. So now we're going to define a little bit under the lash line. What's great about all of our brushes is that they're fully synthetic, and so they kind of repel the color, so it's very easy to transition from one color to the next without it getting muddy. Now let's move on into some more bright colors. So I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just going to kind of brush off what I had on here. Then I'm going to use this beautiful chartreuse color. We're going to use 3 colors on the upper lid, so it's important to just kind of keep it more on the inner corners. So now we're going to transition in to using a little bit of Iggy, which is this beautiful like emerald green. So now we're going to transition over to our 3rd shade, which is Paranoid. So I'm going to focus this color more into the outer corner of the eye. All right, so now for the under eye, we're gonna use a little bit of Danzig, which is this really pretty purple color. So now we're gonna use Tattoo Liner in Trooper, which is our signature black eyeliner. I like to do eyeliner just in 3 steps. And then we're gonna use the lower lash line as a guide for the liner. And I'm gonna just do 1 flick there. Take a look. 1 flick there, and then now we can see where our symmetry is. Okay. And then we're gonna build it inward. So now you can see where we're building our liner, and then we're gonna fill it in. Okay, now that we have the outer portions of our liner, now we're gonna focus on the inner part of the eye. One of my favorite things about this eyeliner is that it has 325 bristles and it gives you a patent leather shine when it dries. So we're gonna use Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in Echo, which is this really beautiful navy. And because this is a liquid lipstick, you don't need a lip liner. The key is not to press your lips together. You just want to let the formula dry, and we're going to do 2 coats. Okay, so as I let that dry, I'm going to go in with Thunderstruck and do a little bit of highlighting. So we'll go back in and add our 2nd coat. So one of the cool things about the Everlasting Liquid Lipstick formula is that it's, completely waterproof. You can eat, drink, make out. It's not gonna budge. So as a finishing touch, I like to go back in with a little bit of Paranoid, and we're gonna put it on the lips. Finishing touch.
So this is the finished look. So this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Absolutely love the makeup. Erik went for a sort of a mermaid kind of vibe, which is perfect for me. You can actually get Kat Von D's beauty range online at Debenhams on September 13th. So you'll be able to get all of these colours and shades used today. And if you want to kind of try out a crazy makeup look like this or a minimal one, go for it. So thank you all for watching and see you all soon.